Hi, I'm Wagner Williams. I'm your Chief People Officer. So this quarter, the value that we're putting a spotlight on is we care. And to me, we care means that we really focus on putting others first. We put our customers first, we put our community first, and we especially put our employees first. There are so many activities where our pros family have come together to show that we really care. From blood drives and food drives in our local communities to just general community outreach events. And those are happening all over the world. Probably the biggest example of what PROS has done and our employee base has done to show that we care is in how we reacted to employees that were affected with the recent Harvey floods in Houston. First, we just made sure that everybody was okay. There was lots of communication with employees to make sure that between HR business partners and their managers that we knew that every employee was accounted for and safe and that their families were okay. When the floods first hit, we just made sure that employees that were flooded out of their homes had a place to go to. We had hotel rooms that were booked and available for employees. And then you all know about the GoFundMe campaign, and all in, we've actually been able to distribute over the last few weeks $240,000 for the families that were just hardest hit. We actually, behind the scenes, created a new nonprofit organization called PROS Cares. And PROS Cares is going to be in a position to help employees in the future and was leveraged to help employees through Harvey to actually help those in an emergency. So we've got that infrastructure in place now, and employees are going to be able to give tax-free, and employees that receive funds are going to be able to receive those funds tax-free like they did with Harvey. So lastly, I just want to say thank you on behalf of all of the employees that were impacted by Harvey. Thank you to the Harvey heroes, but thank you to everybody who gave their time and gave their money.
When Hurricane Harvey hit Houston, employees were helping the community almost immediately. Before the Houston office was even reopened and Houston was still in danger, our own team members were helping their neighbors in boats. They were opening up their homes as shelters, dedicating their time and effort to helping others that were in need. We created a Hurricane Relief Outreach Committee with representation from each of our ERGs and a few of our departments. Our goal was simple: enable employees to help others while prioritizing our own employees that were affected by the hurricane first, and then reaching out and helping the broader community. Within no time, we had 50 employees willing to volunteer. They were spending their time helping provide child care for a full week. Employees donated cleaning supplies. They were helping their peers with house demolition and cleanup. Full teams were going out to help feed people that were in need. And there was so much more, so many more acts of kindness, so many more heroes. The help was overwhelming and it was global. PROS proved that we care isn't just our core value, it's who we are.
On the night of August 26th, it started raining. Hurricane Harvey showed up.
Texas right now is in the grip of the most powerful storm to hit the United States in more than a decade.
We were a little worried. The house that we were in was built in 2001 after Allison. We had to tear down our house after Allison. It seemed like, wow, it can't possibly rain that much. Well, unfortunately it did.
The water came up really quickly, faster than anybody expected, and there was no way to really leave without a boat. By the end of the night, we had 4 adults, 6 kids, and 2 elderly people on my second floor. And we were all there trying to find ways to get rescued.
It started on Friday, then it got worse and worse and worse every single day. The next day I got up and the sheetrock was caving in.
My family and I live in Bel Air, Texas. We actually just moved into our house in May, and never in a million years would have expected that when, we would experience a hurricane and that when it hit, we would be flooded.
Really, we started with a knock on the door, and it was the HOA. They handed us a letter, and it was from the Army Corps of Engineers. And in that letter, it said that we're going to have 4 feet of water in our house in 24 hours. And so we need to evacuate.
I started getting nervous when I was seeing water raising out in the cul-de-sac, and knowing that there was a couple more days of rain to come and nowhere else for the water to go but in my house. We were rescued, and we woke up the kids and got them on the boat, and that was how they woke up that morning, was a rescuer standing at our door. And my daughter, who's 3, didn't want to be carried by this stranger, so I was able to carry her out myself. They didn't want me to wade through the water carrying my child, but she was just so scared.
When we were going to the boat, they said I couldn't bring my dog. And with 2 little kids, I had to make that decision that, you know what, I'm gonna have to leave my dog up at my house. So I left, you know, a week's worth of food and water for him. You know, just not knowing what was gonna happen, but knowing that I'd try to make it there to get him back. James actually lives nearby me, and he went the next day to assess the situation at his house, and he got my dog for me.
I was amazed at how quick pros came together, and Andres kept wanting to come to my house he was trying to come to my house to rescue us in his truck.
First and foremost, everybody in the situation needed shelter, and after shelter they needed food, and they needed then manpower and hands to be able to clean up, and pros definitely provided all of those things and more.
Management here actually cared. I mean, they accounted for people. They wanted to know who was who and where they were.
There were people in the company that were saying, if you need help, there's a crew here, just let us know. I just felt at peace because of that. It really made me feel at peace.
I had colleagues offering to send boats in the middle of the night to come get me out of my house.
This process is stressful, it's painful, it's very hard, very emotional.
Many of us never thought that the devastation could be as vast as it was.
Our house ended up with 2 feet of water in it. Here I feel lucky that everything's okay, that I've survived all right. And I get contacted by the HR department. A couple of weeks ago they said, okay, we've made a determination on money and we're going to give you this much. And my wife was just astounded.
My family and I were so happy when we found out that we could actually get a little bit of assistance to get the process started so we could get our home back to normal. Happy to work for a company that really does embrace that term, we care.
Pros became much more than a company, but became more of a family.
Pros is always going to have a special place in our heart, and we're always going to be grateful for Pros and everything that Pros has done for us.
My family's life was turned upside down along with obviously many others, and you know, I'm blessed to work at Pros, and you know, the help of the leadership team as well as all of the employees here, speaks volumes for the type of company and the culture that we have right here.